There's been no drop in quality with episode 4 of The Rings of Power Season 2, the visuals remain breathtaking and the production values are as high as ever, yet the show still carries certain faults that, while they don't detract from my enjoyment, could understandably bother other viewers. We see a continuation of some of the issues that have been present since the start, and today we're diving deep into what's working and what still needs work. In episode 4, the show introduces a host of new characters for the first time, expanding the world of Middle-earth even further. We finally meet the enigmatic Tom Bombadil, a figure long awaited by fans, along with the new group of hobbits known as the Stores. We are in the home stretch, we are nearly there, we are nearly at 50,000. I can't thank you all enough for it, but I still see that there's over 90% of you who watch and don't subscribe, so please guys, it's completely free and it really does help. Hit that subscribe button, let's get back into it. The episode also brings the Ents back into focus, and in a delightful twist, we're introduced to the elusive Entwives. These additions add layers of intrigue and nostalgia, but also raise questions about how they'll fit into the broader narrative. Tom Bombadil's long-awaited appearance in episode 4 is sure to be a point of fascination and debate amongst fans. As one of Tolkien's most mysterious and whimsical characters, Bombadil stands outside the typical rules of Middle-earth. He's ageless, unaffected by the power of the One Ring, and imbued with a unique, almost otherworldly charm. His portrayal here captures some of that eccentricity and enigmatic nature, though it remains to be seen how the show will weave him into the larger tapestry of the story. A challenge given that Tom Bombadil was always a bit of an enigma even to Tolkien himself. Now, I also envisage this is where some of the gatekeeping I've seen over the last few weeks will come in, because one of the things I keep on seeing in the comment section, and I appreciate you all commenting, I love it, bring on the discussion, it's awesome, but it's how it's this kind of slur that people are throwing at the show, saying it's fan fiction-y and how it's betraying Tolkien's writings. Guys, you got to remember one thing here. This show is set in the Second Age. Tolkien never wrote a book about the Second Age. He often wrote about the Second Age, and yes, there is a load of things in the appendices about the Second Age for sure, such as the Island Kingdom of Numenor, the forging of the Rings of Power. All of these things were in the appendices, are being shown in the show. But this weird, almost perverse gatekeeping that people are saying that it's betraying his work, when actually there isn't that much work, or at least certainly not a specific book surrounding the Second Age. And don't you dare say the Silmarillion, because we all know that's not true. And I have a feeling that the way that Tom Bombadil has been presented is going to trigger that core group of fans who are gatekeeping the IP. But to those fans, I would say completely non-aggressively, I would say that if you look at how Bombadil was meant to look, well, here's an image of him on screen now. That's true to Tolkien's writing. It would look ridiculous. So there are times that you have got to slightly adjust something for the screen. And I think, for me personally, I'm a real fan of what they've done with Tom Bombadil in this episode. Equally captivating is the introduction of the Entwives, the long-lost counterparts of the Ents. Fans have speculated for years about their fate, ever since Treebeard lamented their disappearance in the Two Towers. The show's decision to bring them back adds an emotional dimension to the Ents storyline, giving weight to the Ents' ancient sorrow. But it also presents a risk. How will the series balance this new lore with the established mythology? It does make me think, are we going to get a deeper exploration into Ent lore? Are they going to be like a returning thing in this series, and indeed this season? Or was this just a one-off kind of tip of the hat bit of fan service? Either one's fine. I don't think including the Entwives was a bad decision, although I'm sure a lot of people may now point the finger and say, oh, well, you're just doing it for fan service. But it's like, yes, so? Not to go on the attack here, but guys, try and find some enjoyment when someone shows you something like an Entwife. Just be happy about it. It's cool, you know? But I think the more interesting question is, in what capacity are the Ents going to be used? I'm interested to see. I hope we do see more of them. In episode 4, the story surrounding Gandalf, well, At least we think it's Gandalf. It hasn't officially been confirmed, but let's just go with Gandalf for now. It finally took a much-needed turn toward the intriguing, particularly with the development of his brewing conflict with this mysterious dark wizard. This shift adds a layer of tension that was sorely lacking in the earlier episodes, and especially last season. And this new antagonist opens up a realm of possibilities. Who is this dark wizard? There's a huge part of me that's scared they're going to make it Saruman, which would be completely counterintuitive to Tolkien's writings. Now, if this dark wizard is Saruman, then I would obviously very much align myself with the people who have been saying this is a betrayal of Tolkien's work, because Saruman betrays the side of good in the Third Age. He doesn't start bad. He gets twisted, corrupted, and tempted and becomes bad. So if this is Saruman and he's already evil, massive faux pas. I would like to believe, listen, I could be wrong here and end up with egg on my face, but I would like to believe that the writers are not so stupid to make this wizard Saruman. So let's say this isn't Saruman. I have some theories as to who this dark wizard could be. First, it could be the Witch King of Angmar, the leader of the Nazgul and Sauron's most feared servant. Known for his malice and immense power, the Witch King was a mortal man seduced by one of the Rings of Power, later becoming a ringwraith. Given the show's focus on the rings and Sauron's influence, it is entirely plausible that this dark wizard could be the future Witch King, laying the groundwork for his rise to terror in the Third Age. Alternatively, we might be looking at one of the two enigmatic blue wizards, Morinatar and Romestamo. According to Tolkien's writings, these two were sent to Middle-earth in the Second Age with a mission to combat Sauron's influence in the East. Their true fates remain somewhat of a mystery in Tolkien's Legendarium, but the show could be giving us a glimpse into what they were up to during this time. The Blue Wizards were known for their distinct approach, operating in secrecy and moving among the peoples of Middle-earth, far from the central conflicts of the West. If one of them has turned dark, it would add a fascinating twist to the lore, possibly revealing a secret, corrupted journey that even Tolkien himself only ever hinted at. This episode has finally given Gandalf something compelling to work with, and if either of these theories holds, it could signify a powerful shift in the show's narrative direction, one that we've been eagerly waiting for. And I gotta say, coming back to this whole ruining Tolkien's writing and stuff, if it is one of the Blue Wizards, this is perfect opportunity because very little was ever written about them. This is where you've got a proper sense of creative freedom, and I hope that even the most ardent and ardent gatekeepers among you will surely see that if it is a Blue Wizard, you can't really say that it's a betrayal of work because nearly nothing was written about these guys. If it is them, I think it's a great call. I mean, I'd be happy if it was Angmar, but it's a great call to have them, and that way you've got a sense of freedom and you can develop them in a way that you want without potentially upsetting some. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for the Hobbits, who continue to feel shoehorned into the narrative. The introduction of the new Hobbits the Stores seems like an attempt to add more depth to the world building, but instead, it does feel clumsy and forced. Their portrayal, with its emphasis on diversity and inclusivity, will likely add fuel to the fire for those who criticize the show as woke. While diversity in Middle-earth isn't inherently a problem, the way it's executed here lacks subtlety and risks alienating parts of the fanbase who feel the series is straying too far from Tolkien's original vision. And now listen, I've been a defender of the fact that you can have colors other than white people in Middle-earth. But where this doesn't make sense to me, you look at the stores, right? When Nori and Poppy entered the store's stronghold, you have clearly Central Asian races on display here. Far East Asian, Southeast Asian, black, white, like, it was a bit like they were trying to force every color under the rainbow here. And as I've said, I've been a long advocate for allowing a bit of, diversity in Middle-earth. But you gotta make it make sense, man. If these stores are one tribe, they're one race, by all means, don't make them white, but don't make them every race under the sun. We're not showing a nation here which can have multi-ethnic and a whole host of different races. We're showing a tribe, a literal singular race. And Jesus Christ, I almost sound dirty saying this because I sound like one of Nerdrotic's fans, but like, make it make sense. Turning our attention to Elrond and Galadriel, their story remains, for me, the most compelling thread of the series. Galadriel's belief that she is in complete control with the ring seemingly aiding her creates a fascinating dynamic, particularly as Elrond's mistrust of her grows deeper. Despite his genuine care for Galadriel, his concern over the ring's influence creates a rift between them that is really well portrayed. This tension adds layers to their relationship that keeps me, at least, hooked episode after episode. Their encounter in the Barrow Downs against the Barrow Wights was a standout moment of the episode, with the fight choreography delivering a thrilling and stunning sequence. The Barrow Downs, a place steeped in the history of Middle-earth, are an eerie and ancient burial ground on the western borders of the Old Forest. The Barrow Wights' undead spirits, said to have been summoned by the Witch King of Angmar, haunt these hills, creating a perfect backdrop for an intense, suspense-filled battle. The fight was dynamic, using the foggy landscape and confined space to their advantage, blending swordplay and archery in a way that felt both true to the source material and cinematically fresh. However, this brings us to the final fight scene of the episode, where Galadriel chooses to hold off a band of orcs to allow Elrond and his company to escape. Unlike the gripping choreography of the earlier battle at the Barrow Downs, this scene falls flat for me. The impressive fight choreography we praised earlier was nowhere to be found. Instead, the action was marred by rapid jump cuts between each blow, a technique that has been overdone and feels more like a cover-up than a creative choice. It's clear that this approach was likely used to mask a lack of time or effort in properly choreographing the scene. For a character as formidable as Galadriel, it was disappointing to see such a poorly executed fight, robbing what should have been a climactic moment of its impact and fluidity. The scene had the potential for greatness, but ultimately felt like a rushed afterthought. Now, something cool did happen at the end, which is how the episode ends, on a bit of a cliffhanger. So yeah, I'm all there for that. But the fight itself, not the end result, the fight itself, very mid. Very, very mid. To wrap up, Episode 4 of The Rings of Power Season 2 continues to deliver on its promise of high production quality, stunning visuals, and a rich, immersive world. Yet the familiar faults remain, like the frustratingly forced inclusion of the hobbits and the occasional uneven pacing. The introduction of intriguing characters like Tom Bombadil and the Entwives adds new layers, while Gandalf's storyline finally picks up with some compelling conflict against this mysterious dark wizard. However, not every moment hits the mark. Galadriel's lackluster final fight scene stands in stark contrast to the earlier well-choreographed action, leaving a bit of a sour taste to end the episode off. Despite some mixed results, I remain engaged and optimistic. There's still a lot to enjoy, and Episode 5 promises to bring back major players like Sauron and Celebrimbor and the dwarves, which could elevate the stakes even further. I'm excited to see how these plot lines converge, and I'll be here next week, eager to dive in and see where this story takes us next. So as always, I want to hear from you. What did you think of Episode 4 of The Rings of Power? And again, please, easy on the anti-woke sexism and racism stuff, guys, please. This is a channel about positivity and about enjoying products. If you've got genuine criticism, such as poor fight choreography, you want to comment about the acting, I don't know, the production, the lighting, like something analytical, have at it. Just don't go for the lowest hanging fruit. Let's try and actually have a proper discussion here. Leave your thoughts in your comments below, and I will see you all really soon right here on the Silver Screen Dudes. There's another video for you guys to watch up here, a subscribe button right over here. Please do subscribe and turn on that notification bell. It really does help, and I'll see you guys really soon right here for another review or another interesting movie video. Bye for now.